Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this country risk conference. We used to have one conference in London every 2 years. And we decided for the first time that we would have a conference in one of the most important metropolis in the UK, and we chose Manchester. How do we score the solvency of companies? How do we protect our balance sheets against credit risk?
Just to make a quick definition of what is our rating, the country rating. These bubbles are reforming in very, very large cities of the emerging country, and we will see that with China later on.
This is not a continuation of that graph. We will go back to the normal business cycles.
Obviously, you see the largest spike being London and the southeast.
What's evident is that the mid-90s to 2008 was a period of renewal after the painful restructuring of the early 80s and 90s, and in particular, the decline of manufacturing and mining.
Commercialisation, how do you see that coming from the universities, the R&D in the universities, how do you see that actually bearing out over the next decade?
What you see is trying to help create those structures, whether it's institutes or organizations, networks that bring together the business community, universities, and government.
I need to borrow some money. I need some volunteers to lend me a fiver. Coface always look after me. I'm sure they look after you as well. We've been in some troubled waters for the last couple of years, haven't we? And my colleague speakers this morning have been telling us why. But we have good news. We're now into recovery.
We see that often companies, and above all small companies, are reluctant to transparency. They think that their figures belong to them, and they would share these figures with difficulty.
I think over the next 2 or 3 years we will see a shift.
I find this event very useful. It's the third Coface Country Risk Conference that I've attended, and if nothing else, it keeps me informed about developments in the world economy and in the risks associated with it, and it's the protection of exporters against these risks that Coface provides and that I'm always keen to learn more about.
It's part of our credit policy that we vet all our overseas accounts, and Coface enables us to do that.
I think there are signs of recovery, but a few people said today that that might be stifled by a lack of funding, a lack of perhaps cover. So there are a lot of issues that I think any business faces, whether they have credit insurance or not, but particularly if they do have credit insurance, we're not out of the woods yet.
So I've got a better understanding of what is happening. Some of it I find kind of quite technical, but some of the presentations are very clear. I have to say a little bit alarming about the way through the current economic situation, but it's useful to hear the factors that we ought to be thinking about and taking into account.
If you're going to trade internationally, it's a much more secure area to go down with credit insurance rather than to not have that security blanket, really.
Our role as a credit insurer, as our role as future rating agency, is in a way to give some shapes to the uncertainty. I hope this morning has given at least some indication on what could be the future of the worldwide economy, the future of the British economy, the future of the economy of the Northwest, and the future of our companies with all our efforts to have a better understanding and a better mitigation of risk.